He drew a circle that shut me out. Heretic, rebel, a thing to flout. But love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle and took him in. Maybe you've heard those words from Edwin Markham so often that they have started to seem a little trite to you. It's been only recently that I began to understand their full message and their full power. I think they're like this flower communion that we are about to have together. They're a simple act, and yet they are a huge testimony to the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity. And they speak to the gifts and the challenges of community. Markham reminds us that throughout our lives we will travel in circles, and we will have times when we help decide whether the circles that we help shape act to shut people out or to draw them in. Norbert and Maya Čapek understood about that power of circling around to let people in. And in the face of one of the greatest tyrants the world has known, Norbert stood up and kept welcoming in hope. Some of the survivors who were in camp with him later said that that Unitarian minister could not have been sent to a place where he was more needed. The Čapeks created a place like this one. It's a place whose mission is to reach out and to welcome in, to offer hope to those who need it, even when one doubts that such hope can actually be found. He knew that what makes the religious enterprise different from a club where people pay dues is that it is not just for the people who built it, nor for the people who arrive there. It will always come with the needs of those who might walk in the doors yet unknown. And he knew that such circles endure because people are willing to be points on that radius of the circle and even set aside their own desires sometimes to be in its service, in the service of the larger circle. Yesterday, I finally attended the monthly vigil at the Richmond Detention Center, which is an interfaith gathering of people who come each month to protest the punitive immigration policies of our nation. I've been trying to get there since a year ago, and this was the first time I could make it. But it was a very special day. They were celebrating the release of a breastfeeding mother who had been separated from her baby for more than 6 months. At one point, all of us in attendance were invited to walk in one of two circles. One was going clockwise and the other was going counterclockwise. And as I walked, I thought about Norbert Čapek and about the flower communion, that symbol of hope and connection. And I realized how critical it is for our religious community to continually reaffirm our willingness to be a circle that draws people in. And the words of our youth reminded us of how important that is. The pastor in her homily, she reminded us that it takes people sometimes a long time to understand the rituals, the rules, the norms of a community. And yet we are a community because we understand that we each stand the same distance from the center of the circle. She reminds us that it takes time for justice to be done, and I think of the long walk of those who've worked for the ruling just 2 weeks ago that found that Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio was guilty of having violated the constitutional rights of Latinos by targeting them during raids and traffic stops. He was found guilty of that civil offense. It's a long, long walk indeed. And for the over 50 people in this congregation that came and helped protest, that's a very important victory. So as we gather this morning, let us remember to be a circle that holds that larger radius of hope, a circle which welcomes in the ideas, perspectives, and promises of the newcomer, be they our youth or the new journeyer among us, not because they are our future, but because they are our visionaries now. Let us be the ones with the courage to be in the places where we are most needed, even if they are not the easiest place. May we be the ones to make it so.